Welcome to Let's Talk About It. Here we go! Oh! Oh no! Oh my god! No way! Oh! It's Sabretooth! Oh, look at these fights! Hey guys, what is up? And welcome to a brand new episode of Let's Talk About It. And we got a lot to talk about today. A lot of things kind of bring the rumor sphere and also some confirmed things that we can now talk about that are really interesting. But yeah, let's jump into our first topic here today. Our first topic here, and that is this. Supergirl, a new movie coming from DC Studios. A movie that I am actually kind of more excited about that movie than Superman Legacy. Because Supergirl, I think, is a very interesting character. A character that, I think is still a bit unknown to the general audience, even though she does have the Superman logo and is in league with the Superman character. But, I think audiences, really don't really know her that well. They, of course, there's the CW Supergirl with Melissa Benoist, a show I really enjoyed the first few seasons of, but fell off. And then we had Sasha Calle's Supergirl, which I really enjoy Sasha Calle's role, but unfortunately, James Gunn's going for this reboot. And now we got this new Supergirl movie coming with Millie Alcock from House of the Dragon. And according to comicmovie.com, a big villain might be rumored to be in the film. According to them, Lobo rumored to make his DCU debut in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And this, first when I read this, I'm like, okay, this does not really surprise me, because we all know Lobo's coming. We still talk about, about almost a year ago now, Jason Momoa came out of the offices of James Gunn and Peter Safran and saying, I had the videos hey guys, I had the best meeting of my entire life. I'm I don't think he's talking about, Aquaman, because at that time we knew that Aquaman was probably not going to continue. But we have been guessing Jason Momoa is going to be playing Lobo. That has been the biggest rumor, but it's not been confirmed. I think, with Lobo, making an appearance, I'm really excited for it, because my whole thing with the Superman franchise is okay, we've seen repeated villains a lot. General Zod, we've seen them in this movie and the original Christopher Reeve Superman movies. We've seen Lex Luthor. There's always Lex Luthor. But, Superman has such an extensive library of villains, that we've never seen on the big screen. Characters like Lobo, like Brainiac, Parasite, all characters that I would love to see, because Superman, like Batman, has a really huge catalog of villains. And, that also goes with Supergirl. Supergirl kind of shares, those villains as well with Superman. And, I think for the story of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, that comic book, I think Lobo really fits in well with that story, because, this is a story about Supergirl, being more of a jaded person. She knows what happened on Krypton. She was there for when it was destroyed. She was a teenager when it happened. And, even though Clark doesn't remember anything, she still has this, this trauma of losing her entire family. So, it's a bit more jaded, a bit more, serious, maybe a bit more violent. And, I think Lobo fits definitely into the story they're trying to tell for this. And, if it's true, it's true. But if it's not, not the end of the world. But, guys, what do you think about Lobo possibly appearing in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow? Please leave your comments down below. Let's move on to our second topic here. Talking a bit more about DC and what they got going on. You guys gotta remember that DC is actually beginning this year. Yes, the DC Studios Cinematic Universe is beginning this year with Creature Commandos. And we got a little taste of when the series takes place and who also we could figure might appear in the series. According to comicmovie.com, Creature Commandos executive producer says animated series will be first expression of James Gunn's DCU. And we kind of know this, okay, yeah, this is the first time we're being introduced to characters in this new DC universe. And then one question I've been wondering, because when I saw the concept art, I'm like, oh, this has got to take, way before Superman. Way before, a Peacemaker, or before that? Apparently not. According to comicbookmovie.com, they said that this is actually taking place right after Peacemaker Season 1. After Peacemaker Season 1, this show is taking place. I'm like, okay, which is a bit confusing because, we're still, you're jumping into that world, which means, Rick Flag ain't alive, but you have Rick Flag Sr. in there. Like, are we going to retcon Rick Flag, Like, how are we going to do that? Because we already know the man playing Rick Flag Sr. is going to appear in Peacemaker and Superman Legacy. And, this has been an interesting show. I've been kind of really excited to learn about because Creature Commandos, it's a property I don't know, but, like, it's a squad full of, like, supernatural villains. You got, like, a version of the Bride, a Frankenstein's monster. You got this skeleton-looking soldier. You got this, like Loch Ness monster, like, type of looking person. I'm like, okay, it's a, kind of a squad filled with, like, these supernatural horror entities, which is really cool. And you also have Rick Flag Sr., which, Rick Flag, in the Suicide Squad movies is probably one of my favorite part about those movies because I think Joel Kinnaman, like, he was such a great Rick Flag, such a great Rick Flag. I think the best version we've ever seen of Rick Flag in any media has been his portrayal of the character. And I'm excited to see the guy playing Rick Flag Sr. I can't remember his name right now, but he played Crossbones in MCU, and he's gone off to do, other things. He was in that, like, Hulu movie where we're stuck in a time loop. Like, that was really interesting, and, I'm excited to see him, kind of, it feels like Rick Flag Sr. is kind of like, going to be our introduction to the Argus, which is basically the shield of the DC universe, where you get characters like Amanda Waller, who's kind of, in a way, a little bit like Nick Fury. She runs Argus, and she goes and recruits these people. But, I don't know what they're trying to go do for Argus. Maybe because, like, I remember New 52 comics, that they had Steve Trevor was a member of Argus, and he was kind of like the liaison of the Justice League. But, foremost, I'm excited for Creature Commandos. I'm excited to be introduced to characters I have no idea about, because that's what I love, when a studio introduces, if it's Marvel or DC, if they introduce characters, that I don't know of and that look interesting, they do a good job of it, I trust them because it looks really good. And, I haven't seen a trailer yet. There's been no trailer for this yet, sadly, no trailer yet, but I'm hoping for great things from this series. I'm really hoping that this is going to really work. I hope it works. But guys, what do you think of Creature Commandos and where it's set in the new DCU? Leave your comments down below. Let's move on to our third topic here. That is this. I've taught this in length in Medium, how Deadpool and Wolverine is probably one of the most anticipated movies, I've been looking forward to my entire life, Like I've said before, I grew up with X-Men, I had, like, the original, like, X-Men, 2001 movie on DVD. Yes, DVDs. Yes, I know what DVDs are, guys. I might look young, but I know what a DVD is. And I would watch the hell of that thing where, like, it was scratches where I had to like clean the disc in order for it to play. Sometimes I enjoyed X-Men so much, and seeing us going back into the world of X-Men, especially Bryan Singer's universe, it's always made me excited. Kind of getting one final goodbye to the characters that I grew up with, which made me fall in love with Marvel and just the superhero fandom in general. But according to comicbookmovie.com, we got the official playlist for the movie, and it kind of gives us an idea what we can expect from the movie, and maybe some funny jokes in there. That comicbookmovie.com says Deadpool and Wolverine reveals its awesome and intriguing soundtrack with new look at the movie's leads. And we're gonna go right now. I'm gonna put the picture of the soundtrack like up and on the side right here for you guys. It's even gonna be over here and over there. I don't know where it's gonna be. Depends where I put it when I edit. But we look at this list. They got some pretty good songs on there. They got Glamorous from Fergie. They got Bye Bye from NSYNC. They also have some original songs. They got a Green Day song on there. It's just, they got a lot of great songs on here. They got Iris, the Goo Goo Dolls, which that made me very happy. I'm a very big fan of the Goo Goo Dolls. I especially love Iris, also because, They had that band had a lot of the soundtrack for them was also in the Michael Bay Transformers movies, which I watched those as much probably as X-Men as a kid. But one of the interesting things we look at this playlist as we see, if you look over the side, this says the greatest show from the greatest showman, and I'm like, wait a second. Are you telling me that they are going to make a joke about the greatest showman, or they are about to have like a musical scene with the greatest showman? That's the reason I'm like, oh my gosh, like that is so funny because Hugh Jackman was the greatest showman, and it's gonna make the joke but Deadpool's gonna be like, hey Hugh, you remember Greatest Showman? Well, why don't we put a little musical number for our audience here today? And I don't know what the joke's gonna be, but that just made me excited that they're not just gonna be doing Easter eggs from Marvel. They're gonna be doing like Easter eggs from like Hugh Jackman's entire career, from Ryan Reynolds' entire career. I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. Like this soundtrack, it's not telling us exactly what the movie's about, but it just gave us an insight on like us seeing the song, seeing the artist or the band, and being like, okay, I can see this fitting into a moment like this or a moment like that. Just like the names of the songs, you had Bye Bye by NSYNC. You have I'll Be Seeing You. I think that's Jimmy Durante. You Make Me Lose Control from Eric Kermis. These songs kind of give us a look into what the movie is. Now, on here, the one thing I'm not seeing is a Taylor Swift song. See, my thing is, I think, they might get Taylor Swift to sing the opening for Deadpool and Wolverine. If you know what I mean by that, is like, the last two movies of Deadpool, they always have some of the best openings in superhero movies ever. You look at the first one where they have the still movement image of Deadpool, like, in the SUV, like, fighting off Ajax, a gang, his henchmen. And you see, it says, directed by an idiot, starring God's perfect idiot, that thing. That's what I love about it. Then you go to the second Deadpool movie, and then you have a song by Celine Dion, Ashes, which is a hell of a banger, guys. That is a hell of a banger song. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious. And, if you've not seen the music video for that, there's a little extra scene in there with Celine Dion and Deadpool, which is absolutely hilarious. So I'm thinking, how can they top that? How can they top Celine Dion? You get the most famous singer and artist out there in the world right now. No doubt about it. Taylor Swift is the most popular artist in the world right now. No debate about it. No debate. Because, you talk about Taylor Swift, people are like, oh, no one says anything bad about Taylor Swift because she's just the best. It doesn't matter if you're a guy, if you're a girl, if you're 40 or 80 years old, you put on a Taylor Swift song, you'll be like, that's a jam. And, I think, she might have written an original song for this, and I'm really hoping she did, and that is going to be amazing. But what do you guys think on this soundtrack for Deadpool and Wolverine? Does it make you a bit more interested, and does it kind of make you imagine what type of jokes they might be telling in the film? Please leave your comments down below, and let's move on to our fourth and final topic here today, and that is this. We are, I have to say, maybe half a week away from Comic-Con. And, we've already gotten the Agatha trailer. We've already gotten the Captain America Brave New World trailer. And we can expect not a boatload, but a few announcements at Comic-Con. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. But one of the things people have been wondering is, what is going on with Avengers 5? What is the plan, Because, those plans for those movies kind of got scrapped a little when they decided Kang wasn't really working. And then Jonathan Major stuff happened, and then they kind of started to move away from the character. And Dustin Day Creighton was involved with Avengers 5, but he left to go work on Shang-Chi. It was just kind of rumored / announced that the head writer, Michael Waldron, he has stepped away. He is not working on the script anymore, which means they've got to go hire a new scriptwriter. But the one thing we're wondering is, who is directing? Well, according to Deadline, we might be getting some big boys back in the MCU. And they say this: Russo brothers make big return to Marvel as they eye upcoming Avengers sequels. Now, we heard rumors about this about a week or two ago. I didn't report on it, I'm still trying to bring this series back, but We were talking about, that they might come back, and the initial word from Jeff Snyder, who reported said, like, they went and talked. The Russos said they wanted to do it, and Marvel said no, and that was a whole thing. And now we're getting a new story that they are in talks to do it, which is kind of confusing because Jeff Snyder, he's very reliable. Is probably the best at breaking news. Through his reporting. But if you look down in the article, it does says Marvel did not comment on this. So this is kind of a maybe. Hey, maybe they're in talks. It's not confirmed. And basically, my thoughts on if they returned, I think it's a really good idea. With Marvel, not hitting in their last few projects, and Avengers is your biggest brand. It's like, okay, we haven't been hitting, and we don't really know if we want a new director handling all these characters and stories. Why don't we go back and get the guys who have made one of the most successful Marvel movies in Avengers Endgame, who made a genre-defining superhero movie in Captain America, The Winter Soldier, who have experience handling big budget movies with big actors, and that's Russo brothers. Of course, you could say that they have not really hit on anything since they have done Avengers Endgame. You look at like Gray Man, you look at the Tom Holland movie Cherry. You look at everything else. They've been doing outside MCU. It hasn't worked, and I do think, it's a bit of a risk bringing them back, with what they did. But you gotta remember, they did Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Civil War. 4 movies that are probably regarded as some of people's most favorite Marvel movies. So I do think that if Marvel thinks they can risk it, they should bring them back. Because you put the Russo brothers' name on the trailer, you put them on the titles, like, from the directors of Avengers Infinity War Endgame. People are like, oh, they directed those movies? Well, I gotta go see the new Avengers movie. I love those movies. I love Captain America, Winter Soldier. I love Avengers Endgame. You bring them back, and you're making people excited. I think we're going to get the confirmation that it's either going to be these guys or someone else at Comic-Con in a week and a half. On that Saturday, they're going to be and the director of Avengers 5 and 6 is the Russo brothers, Ryan Coogler, Sean Levy. They're gonna choose who's going to be director at Comic-Con. So wait and see. You're going to see who's announced. And overall, you guys excited about this announcement that the directors of Avengers Infinity War, Endgame, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Civil War are maybe coming back to do the Avengers 5 and 6 movie at Marvel? Please leave your comments down below. And guys, thank you so much for watching this video of Let's Talk About It. Like I said, leave your comments down below. Tell me if there's any topics you ever want me to talk about. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.